Your legs are the foundation of your body, and no matter how strong your upper body is, without strong legs you're going to get unstable and fragile. I'm going to go through my entire lower body workout, and then I'm going to explain how you can adapt it to your own fitness level and ability. The whole workout is composed of just 3 exercises, and if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know I'm a big fan of just keeping things as simple as possible, so I only choose the 3 most effective exercises. The first exercise that I do is the double kettlebell front squat. This exercise targets the quads at the front of the leg and the glutes or your bum. It also does require a lot of lower back strength, core strength and shoulder strength to be able to hold the kettlebells in position and keep your chest up throughout the whole movement. Now, is this the most effective way of targeting overloading and growing big leg muscles? Well, no, it's not. And I've said this before many times on the channel. If you want to train like a bodybuilder and you just want to maximize the amount of muscle that you can grow, you're probably better off doing barbell back squats or leg presses. They'd be a much better option. But for people like me, and I imagine for you as well, given that you're watching this video, who just want to simplify training, train at home, and still build some kind of strength and muscle, but take a more holistic approach to fitness, I honestly can't think of a better exercise than working up to double kettlebell front squats. Now, if you want more beginner-friendly versions of these exercises that I'm about to talk about, you can download the Basic But Brutal program in the description. It's a program so simple that you'll actually be able to stick to it. But now onto the second exercise. Once I've done this exercise, I'll then jump straight into an exercise known as sissy squats without any rest period. This makes it something called a superset, and a superset is basically when you combine 2 different exercises into the same set and increase what we call time under tension on the muscle. And time under tension is pretty self-explanatory. It just means the total amount of time the muscle spends contracting under a load. So this exercise is well known in calisthenics. It only requires your body weight. However, I absolutely do not recommend doing it if you've had knee surgery recently, you have any kind of knee pain or chronic knee problems, because it does put a lot of strain on the knee. And now there is a common misconception that doing exercises where your knee travels forwards over your toe is bad for your knees. This was mostly a thing in the 1970s and 80s with limited research. There wasn't actually much basis for that claim. And what we know now is that knee stress is not only normal, but actually necessary in order to build strength in your joints, in your knee joints, in the muscles that surround the joint. And actually that restricting knee movement just shifts the stress elsewhere in your body. This could be the back, this could be the hips. So if you have healthy knees, this exercise can actually make your knees even stronger as long as you start with a smaller range of motion. Use your arms for help. Don't do too many reps, don't do too many sets to start with, but they really target the quads at the front of the leg. Kind of like a leg extension machine, but to be honest, not much else. It's pretty much just a quad movement. Then I'll take a bit of rest and jump into something called Romanian deadlifts. This exercise is really good at targeting the hamstrings, the muscle at the back of your leg, your lower back, and a bit of glutes. And the important thing here is to imagine that you're pushing your hips back. You're not necessarily bending the hips, you're more just pushing your bum back whilst keeping your back straight. Now, these are not as effective with kettlebells because the range of motion is limited by the fact that kettlebells have a decent amount of height compared to, say, dumbbells, but I still find them to be a really effective movement. Now, I generally try and do 5 sets of each exercise, and I'll slowly, over the weeks and months, work my way up to about 15 reps per set. Okay, here's how to adapt this exact same workout for beginners or people who just have one kettlebell. Firstly, swap the double kettlebell front squat for a goblet squat. This is actually a very similar movement, except you're just holding the kettlebell in the center of your body instead of one on each collarbone. If you're a beginner, start with a lighter kettlebell and build up to using a heavier one. If you can't get really deep on the squat, it doesn't really matter. This will come with time. Your mobility will improve over time. You just have to keep doing it. If you can only get halfway down, that's fine. Trust the process, trust the fact that you are going to get better, your body is going to adapt, and over the next couple of months, your depth on the squat will increase. As long as you're pushing through your heels, there's nothing really too wrong with not getting full depth, especially if you're a beginner. Now, if you've learned the clean movement, you can progress to a clean and squat with just one kettlebell. Now, a lot of people, especially at the start, find it hard to keep the kettlebell in place as you squat down, but you can just bring your other hand over and help with the stability. You can hold it with 2 hands. There's no problem doing that. For the second exercise, swap the sissy squats for either lunges, suitcase deadlifts, or just normal kettlebell deadlifts. And again, that's exactly what's included in the Basic But Brutal program. These exercises will still hit the quads, but they'll also bring in the glutes, plus an element of balance and coordination if you opt for the lunges. So any of these 3 exercises are really good. To progress them, simply add more sets, reps, reduce the rest time, or eventually use a heavier kettlebell. And number 3, use kettlebell swings instead of the Romanian deadlift. It's just more bang for your buck. It involves a bit of cardio at the same time, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's just recap the changes if you're a beginner. So swap the double kettlebell front squat for a goblet squat. Swap the sissy squats for either lunges, suitcase deadlifts, or normal kettlebell deadlifts. And then swap the Romanian deadlift for the kettlebell swing. And you actually have a really solid, really complete lower body workout that you can do 1 to 2 times a week that shouldn't take you more than about 15 to 20 minutes to actually do. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.